Okay, for some reason, I don't quite know why, recording software decided to drop about 30 minutes of, well, let's be honest, mind-numbingly boring action. So I've changed the settings and hopefully it will not do that again. Anyway, the hauler has a larger jump range than the Sidewinder does, which is very useful for trading. To get an idea of the jump range in your ship, the best thing to do is look at whatever you can find in bulletin boards. These will give you an idea. For example, if the hauler carries, in this case it starts out as empty, and if it picks up another 6 units it can jump 7.10 light years. If it picks up 12 it can jump 6.33 light years, and if it picks up 7 it can jump 6.96. Basically, with a full load you can jump just about 6 light years. Alternatively, when you go into the galaxy map, you also get an option in here. You go back and filter these out. In the navigation pane we have the option of cargo mass slider, which can, by default, it shows how much, this one will set how far can you jump with your current loadout. It's not just cargo that weighs you down, but stuff like equipment weighs you down as well. So a weapon weighs 4 tons at a minimum, and that will affect how far you can jump, because you need to carry an extra 4 ton. And with 16 ton, you're limited to this island. The ones that are straight blue lines are direct connections. I can jump from Aesolus Prime to Dahan, to Aranin, or to LP98. The dashed lines are where I can go after that. So, for example, I can't jump straight to Ibutis, for instance, but I can jump to Aranin and then to Ibutis, and then on to Styx and Upala or Morgor, for instance. I can't, with a fully laden ship with the current equipment, I can't get to G Hercules, for example. It is simply impossible. There's no jump route I can take which will cover this distance. If I carry less equipment, I can. Then I can jump into this particular island via Opala, but otherwise I can't. This is important to note. With every type of ship you will encounter these. Once you get up to the larger carriers like the Lakons, for instance, you can jump much further distances. The Lakon Type 6, for instance, you can get anywhere from anywhere. You do need to go through jump connections to get there, but you can get anywhere in that one. In this one you're limited to some islands. But speaking of weapons, when you buy a weapon it typically comes with a borrowed laser. I don't really have a need for one because I suck at combat and I'm not going to engage in any kind of combat, but that cuts down my weight with about 4 tons, yeah, which increases the jump distance. Since this is a hauler and you're likely to be targeted by people, it does become more interesting to have something to aid you in avoiding that. For instance, a heatsink launcher and a chaff launcher. The chaff launcher should supposedly aid you against being targeted by missiles. Don't overbuy it because these things are relatively expensive and you only have so much money. It's 8,500 for the chaff launcher, for instance. To rebuy that is going to be, what is it, 10%? So that's another 850 that you need to apply to your already 1200 for the ship and 350 for the heatsink launcher. So the ship itself is 1200. The heatsink launcher, which is very handy, that's another 350. So that ends up being 1500 credits. If I add in the chaff launcher, I'm going to pay another 8,500. That reduces my credits to 1500, and then I can't actually afford rebuying the ship with all the stuff on it. It's better to simply have the chaff, the heatsink launcher, and then jump away if people jump you. Since we're going to be looting some more, a good idea is having 2 heatsink launchers. They're still lighter than the one laser we sold. These weigh 1.2 tons each, I think. 1.3 tons. All the utility mounts weigh the same. So that's 2.6 tons versus the 4 tons from before. So we're going to jump back to LP98 and do some more looting or scrounging or whatever you want to call it.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
Now, you noticed when I bought the heatsink launcher that it told me that I have weapons that aren't activated in any fire groups, which is true, but you don't need fire groups to launch the heatsinks. You can bind a key to it, and that way you can do it when you're charging your hyperdrive, for instance, which comes in very handy when you're being chased, for example. Now the hauler is not particularly fast. This is just about its top speed. You can boost it to, I think, 270, but there's not really much point in it.
Drive charging.
Now, with a bit of luck, it shouldn't take a full hour to find another dump of cargo like it did the last time. And with a little luck, it will be another, well, yeah. It didn't record it, so it's difficult to actually know what I'm talking about. It failed to record me finding an unidentified signal source with 8 gold canisters in it, which I think I haven't counted, but I'm guessing probably 20 or 30. No, I'm probably closer to 20. Where the fuck am I going? Anyway, I think the last hour was 15 to 20 unidentified signal sources before finding one that had anything useful. Well, 2 total, but 1 useful. only interdicted, and we don't really have any. Oh, okay.
Under attack. E-sync deployed. Drift silent running.
Oh, this is not going to be good. But
E-sync deployed.
yeah, 41% hull is not a lot. But clearly they weren't interested in any kind of goods or anything. They just wanted to, well, loot. There's no cargo, so. Oh, right, I disabled it.
Drive charging. Silent running off.
Well, bugger. Ah, okay.
Drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1.
So, well, hopefully the next things we find are going to be a lot less action or aggressive. To give you an idea, what I was trying to do was essentially hide from them. Dump all my heat via the heatsink, disable as much as I could to reduce my energy signature, and then enable silent running. It is still possible to have visual lock on something, but essentially in time they will lose track of where I am against the black background, and since nothing is on, it becomes very, very difficult for them to find me, and then they give up. So it's not enough to run away bravely, you also need to run away smartly. And, well, I might have disabled shields a bit too early. I think that's actually I think that's why I was shut down to 41%. And nothing here either. Although I do. Ah, there they are. Well, that's no good, because they seem to be right behind me. Point is, there's not much reason to fly in their direction when what I want is to go here.
Drive charging.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. You can actually see the amount of damage. Yeah, no wonder. How much damage stuff has taken, and I need to get that repaired.
Drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, someone's flying around in an anaconda. He's done a lot of grinding. And goods. What did we find? Oh, sorry. I don't think this is particularly valuable, but it's better than not having anything. See if I can find whichever is closest. One. Just trying to find out which order I should take things in. 755 seems to be the closest.
Cargo scope deployed.
See, these are fine. This is probably a good time to educate you a bit on the radar. The radar is in 3 dimensions. The circle simply denotes where on a plane things is. So if you turn around, things will change slightly. The forward pie section indicates what you can see, and the line that pulls something above and below the line, the one that's targeted right now, the one with the brackets on it, is now on a plane with me. If I fly straight ahead, I should find it, which you can also see on the cargo scoop indicator. If you pull up, the ones in the back, they're higher up, they're pointed upwards. You can see that the line points up towards them, whereas if you change the plane, then you can see the one right in front of me is now below the plane. Again, matching with what you see on the cargo scoop. This gives it makes it a very effective 3-dimensional scanner. It takes a while to get used to, but it is actually very effective at giving you an idea of where not only you are, but other things are relative to yourself. So when you're in combat and it looks like something is right behind you or ahead of you, it might actually simply be that they are very high on the plane, which means that they have a very long stalk attached to them, but they are behind you. For example, right now, if you're not paying attention, it actually looks like these 3 pieces of cargo are supposed to be ahead of me because they're in that section, but they are behind me. we need to notice where the dots or the lines, the stalks or whatever you want to call them, where they actually end, rather than where the dot is itself. And I can't believe it has taken me this long to realize that when you have them in a row like this, it's much simpler to just back away or reverse once you know where one of them is, once you've picked it up, than trying to turn around and so on. Well, if you can't learn when you're living, you're not living.
Restricted. Drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now we still have plenty of space. We have 8 left. So if there's another one, there's no point in not picking it up while heading in to get repairs. Okay, it's rotating on an axis that's pointing straight towards me, but it's rotating clockwise from this direction, which means this is the rear of the station. The entrance is on the side that is rotating counterclockwise. If you haven't picked up on it yet, the star streaks or dust streaks or whatever you want to call them, they are indicative of your direction of travel. They always move in whichever direction you're traveling. So when you start traveling sideways, it will move across the screen in that direction.
Request granted.
Right now it's moving sideways because I'm using, well, lateral thrusters, I think it's called. And 28. Landing gear down.
Engines disengaged.
I think Balside is like, I don't know, 100 apiece perhaps. Refuel. Heat sinks are in munitions. Remember to get those, otherwise, well, you might be in trouble. Repairs. Okay, cheap repairs. Not so cheap repairs. That's probably more expensive than a new ship. Well, okay, I also have a heatsink, but yeah, try not to kill your ship. Okay. Trying to figure out where the other 4,000 credits went. Oh, right, I bought 2 sets of heatsinks. I was remembering 10,000 when I only had 1 heatsink. Yeah. Check in for the next installment where hopefully we'll have more luck.